Barb, one of the biggest challenges for home sellers is that classic real estate catch-22, as you call it, having a house to sell before they buy their next home. So, how do homeowners that need to sell their home to buy the next house have certainty that the current house will sell when they want it to and when they can move into the other home?
Well, Richard, most people have some equity. They've been in their home long enough where they'll be able to put together a down payment when their home sells to buy their next home. But not everybody's in that situation. Some people might still have a high loan balance and they just want out of the trap. Like if they happen to be a veteran, many times they could buy a home, no money down, and buy their next home, no money down. They just want their loan paid off. So it is a dilemma, and we have solutions for everybody. And the biggest worry is, okay, I'm looking at these homes at my next duty station, wherever I'm going, and I love that house, but oh, it went under contract because my house isn't sold yet. We actually have solutions for it that I think are really, really cool. So a lot of home sellers want certainty that their home is going to sell so they can move on to their next home. But for most of the time, you need equity. Now, I run into a lot of folks that have the very luxurious position of having a paid for house, which is wonderful. It means that they could go ahead and buy their next home without selling their current home and just take their time selling their current home. That's a really good position to be in. Most people don't like the idea of having to move twice and have temporary housing. And that does kind of keep people stuck. Another thing that keeps them stuck is not being certain on what their destination is. It scares a lot of people like, okay, I want to sell my house. I know I have to sell my house to buy the next house, but I don't know where the next house is. What I'm going to have, will I have to put everything into storage and wait until I find the right home? What are all the options? And most people don't like that idea, but sometimes that could be the best solution for them. But option one, of course, is to get your home sold first. And I've seen people do it. I've seen people put their house on the market, sell it, move into an apartment, and maybe wait for a brand new home to be built, or move to the location that they're going to if they're leaving the area, and get familiar with the area before they buy a house, because some people may not know all the neighborhoods in that location. If you don't have a house to sell, you're a stronger buyer than a buyer that does have a house to sell. Even if the buyer that does have a house to sell has their home under contract. So let's say you put your house under contract. Now you got to move to your next house, right? So you make an offer on your next house contingent on this home closing, not selling. It's already under contract, but it's not closed yet. You're waiting for it to close. So the landmine for your seller on the other end is not only do you have to get your financing squared away and your inspection and appraisal to buy their home, but you also have to make sure that your buyer is going to be good with inspection and appraisal and loan approval and get to the finish line. So it's kind of, it doubles basically the jeopardy for a home seller. It is not as strong and as certain as some of the programs I'm going to talk about in this segment. It's pretty exciting, actually. Now, if you don't have a destination, the only benefit to selling without a destination is that you've kind of got this house monkey off your back, and then you have a clean slate to move forward for your next one. And it gives you a little bit more option to negotiate more strongly, but you have to be in temporary housing. It also gives you more time to find the right home. But making an offer on your next home contingent on your home selling, which is not sold yet. I don't care if it's on the market or not. If it's not sold yet, it's very weak. And I remember doing, I had my home buyer actually make an offer contingent on their home closing. We were 1 week from closing. Everything looked really fine. they were under contract for another house. And then, oops, the buyer found out the night before closing. This is how bad some of the lenders are, that they couldn't get the loan. Now, they weren't a traditional, what I call a really nice, easy buyer to get a loan. The people that are easy to get loans have payroll type income. The self-employed ones are kind of difficult to get financing through. It can be done, but the reason why it's difficult is you have to show on your tax returns a profit, instead of, a lot of people try to write off as much income as they can in order to not have to pay taxes. But the double-edged sword is you don't qualify for a mortgage, or as much of a mortgage. So, I've seen the disasters take place in my experience. It's not fun for that to happen. And when the market was really hot, they went on to make another offer on another house, supposedly closing in a week. Even with a cash offer on the table, the sellers at that time, when the market was hot, was saying, nope, no contingencies whatsoever. So you're not in a very strong negotiating position either way when you're trying to do that. Now, you can actually solve the problem in different ways. Working with a buyer right now where we're close to closing and the lender is just messing things up, and he's got the money, he's got a big down payment, he's got a home equity line of credit, so he's going to pivot to cash because he's tired of messing with the lender. But not everybody's in that position. But if you are, it's a really good backup to have, just in case the lender does something stupid, or what in his case, the loan originator moved to another mortgage brokerage company, then the current lender dropped the ball and didn't finish it on time, and all kinds of problems. There are a lot of really cool home equity lines of credit. They are not the same as a mortgage, right? The interest rates are a little bit higher, but it allows you to transition from home to home. You'll just have a temporary payment in between the two houses. So that's basically called an equity-based type of financing. And we have some really cool cash offer programs that allow you to pull your equity out without having a payment in between houses. And we're going to talk about those in the next segment. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show. And we're talking about how to sell your home with certainty without getting stuck. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some great ways in order to buy your next home first without having to sell your existing home. Richard?
So, Barb, what are some more ways that home sellers can manage moving from one home to another without showings, without stress, and getting their home sold and doing it on their timeline?
Well, Richard, one of the options that we bring to the table that's very unique is we show up and we have multiple offers on any home really in the country. We can show up with multiple offers. Now, some of the homes don't necessarily qualify for cash offers. Things that are kind of an anomaly, like maybe a single wide home, or maybe a home on big acreage. Sometimes the investors don't want to do that. However, there are other options for those people as well. But if you have the option to basically sell your home as is to an investor, and some of these investors will actually come in and pay full market value, and you'll be able to make your next move without getting stuck with two homes. It's very appealing to some people. Some people don't want to fix up their house. Some people don't want to deal with showings. Some people don't want to deal with strangers coming through their house. Some people don't want to deal with repairs. All those things are the not fun part about selling homes that they don't want to deal with. And our investors will pay full market value, and they will take the home as is. Now, there are a couple of really cool buy before you sell programs in our cash offer platform. One of them, the one I am probably the most fond of, basically, is that, let's say you see your dream home out there and you really want that home, but your home isn't sold yet. As long as you have a little bit of equity in your home and you have a credit score above 620, this lender will go and buy your next home for cash, and you're in control. You can negotiate that cash deal. So basically, they go get your dream home, right? And once they become the owner, you'll be responsible for renting it from them, but you don't have to pay rent for a couple of months. And in the meantime, you put your house on the market, you price it realistically, and you get it sold. And that way you can make that transition without trying to time everything absolutely perfectly. It's a really, really awesome program. And we have a whole bunch of different kinds of guarantees. That's why we're Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. So one of them is if you're moving up to one of our listings, we'll buy yours. Another one is we guarantee price. So we guarantee a price range. And if it doesn't work, then we'll pay you the difference. So we have all these different offers available to you. And what about your buyer with a house to sell? So let's say you have your house on the market and your buyer comes along and says, I love your house. I really want to buy it. Will you reserve it for me and wait for me to sell my home? Maybe my home's in another state. Maybe it's not even on the market yet. I mean, Richard, how does that feel to you if you're a seller?
I am angry at that. I can't believe that.
Well, I get offers like that on my listings all the time because most brokerages don't have any kind of solution for them, but we do. They could deploy one of our programs. We could get multiple cash offers for their house so they could buy yours without a sale contingency. And that's really sweet when it's out there. And I can tell you that it is a solution to make things happen. We meet with people that inherited homes and they already have their hands full dealing with the estate and getting everything cleared out of the house. And now they've got to sell the home, right? So it's a very large project. And a lot of times, if you're an executor of the state, you have to do your best to get the most money for the estate. And these multiple cash offer programs are wonderful because they step in and take care of it. They take it as is, but they allow the home seller to maximize, or the state of the home seller to maximize the home value through the process. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com and click on that green button that says cash offers. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you're thinking of making a move, simply call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be discussing how to choose the right real estate agent and why it could cost you thousands if you don't. Plus, Barb's hot new listings. Stay tuned for them.